This feels weird. Why does this feel weird? Well, good eye, everybody. My name is Mith, man of 100 voices, and your dad, Jug VTuber. There we go. That feels better. Good eye. Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Thursday. Solid start. Thanks. G'day. Welcome on in. Malice, Phantoms, Joe. G'day. Would it be out of pocket to suggest chatting over a Gutsman farm? And if 5 Gutsman 3s are gut, then just change to something else. It's not a bad idea. I don't know if I'm going to start like that, but it's not a bad idea. Definitely worth the suggestion, and I appreciate it. But yeah, it's weird. Like, when we start up a stream and I have something planned, I can yap for 40 minutes about nonsense. It's probably anxiety. I think it might be anxiety. Because, like, right now, there's nothing. This is the entire stream. We're just going to do this. Whatever the hell this is. With the lulling sounds of background music. But that's it. That means if I ever fall over, there's nothing. What do we do with nothing? How do people deal with the nothing? I do like the suggestion. Let's talk about potatoes and other veggies. Veto. You're just going to make me hungry because I didn't eat the biggest dinner? And then you're going to make me upset because I should be eating potatoes and veggies? Which would then, because healthy is good, and healthy I am not. But yeah, I need to figure out how to be entertaining. Stop posting vegetables! God damn it. The seeds. The seeds have been planted. And it's hard. No, I got nothing after that. Oh, I do have one story I can share. Let's talk about couch potatoes and people in a vegetable. How can you take a idea that was your own and turn it so dark so fast? You have a talent. I hope you can find a use for that talent. Because I don't know how to use it. I do have one thing to share. It's nothing fancy. It's just a story to tell, I guess. So it's not really sharing. It's more, I have something to speak. I'm going to say something. You're using the talent right now. You know, I sometimes hate it when you're right. But right you are. So I have been trying to be a responsible young old person. And with the moving away from summer, fall hasn't officially started, but let's be honest, it's the middle of September. Fall is around the corner. The weather is getting slightly colder. Specifically, it's dropping to the 50s on occasion. Fahrenheit, because unfortunately I don't speak Celsius as fluently as I should. So it's starting to get a little cooler to the point where, you know, maybe instead of running the air conditioner 24/7, we can just, you know, open the door in the living room, keep the screen door shut to keep the bugs out, but let the outside in. Open the windows in the bedroom, you know, get a nice little circular air flowing, except I have an apartment that faces one side, so I can't get any airflow even with the fans in state. But no. Sorry, I'm going crazy. I thought I heard something. But no, I don't get that. I walk into a lovely 77-degree apartment today after spending a day at work where all I was doing was complaining about how hot I was. Not in a good way either. Like, physically hot. And when I get physically hot, I feel physically sick. And it just was an unpleasant day. I had to sit at my desk. The desk fan that I have a tiny little desk fan that runs off a USB on my desk and it blows a little air and it keeps me so comfy. But it couldn't keep up. I had it on max blast and I was just overheating. It sucked. That sounds like a fever, to be honest. Yes, but I don't feel... I don't have the fever effects where I feel like death. 2 weeks until fall comes around. See, that's what I'm waiting for. I love winter. Winter is my favorite because I love the cold. I always have had the stance of it is easier to warm yourself up. You can always put on another layer. You can always grab a blanket. You can always have a hot cup of anything you want. Not anything you want, you know what I mean? I already sense the tea being planted in the ground. The ball is being placed on the tee, and it's about to get hit. But you can have a hot cup of anything you want, and it warms you right up. But when you're too hot, you can only strip so much before people start pointing and laughing. You can have a nice cold glass of who cares, but that's besides the point. It is easier to warm up than it is to cool down. And the very simple answer for that is your body runs at 98 degrees Fahrenheit. If anything is colder than that, all you have to do is bundle up and you'll slowly warm up to 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Which is, I got this. They're like 32 degrees Celsius? It's like 34 degrees Celsius. I'm a little low. You do tend to point and laugh at people stripping in public. See? You can only do so much. So I prefer the cold. So I can't wait for fall. Can't wait for winter. I absolutely love the jeans and zipper hoodie meta. God, I'm a fucking nerd. I've never been one for winter coats, really, because, again, I like the cold. So even when it's, like, snowing outside, getting close to freezing, below freezing, as a matter of fact, and even hovering around the negatives, I tend to still only just put on a slight, like a light jacket or a sweatshirt. That's my go-to normally. Pants and a sweatshirt is my go-to during the winter. But all this time because I was overheating today. So I was overheating at work. It was hard to get work done. In fact, thinking back on it, I probably could have done a lot more than I did. I get home, nice and hot, absolutely miserable. So close up all the windows, turn on the air conditioner. It has dropped 2 degrees, and we have 9 to go. So I'm very thankful for the fan under my desk right now, keeping me cool. Otherwise, I'd be very ornery. Yeah. Right. I do remember being told something about my backgrounds, my everything, and that is, it's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Bland is too harsh. Lacking might be more accurate. So it's a little lacking. Also, do I press the button and sense what happened? I'm getting the instinct to push a button right now. So all of my monitors have different resolutions, or specifically I have one 1440p monitor and everything else is 1080. That means the windows are off. So like I'm sitting here because I currently have VTube Studio in window mode in as central location as I can. So, you know, I can actually pay attention to things. I want to hit the maximize button, but I think I'm going to fall off into the void if I do that. Who wants to see me run into the void? Please no one. Please no one raise your hand to watching me go into the void. That's just, there's a try it. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't break. There should be a fix, but yeah, let's see. So what should happen is I should pretty much disappear. That's about it. Why is everybody in the camp do it? What the fuck? All right. So if I set my screen to 1440, this happens. Oh shit, I went into the void. Actually, how in void am I? I'm very in the void. Holy hell. Oh, and I'm gigantic. Would you look at that? Chaos gremlins everywhere. Yes, all of you. God, how do citizens get anything done with all this chaos? I'm huge. Yeah. And now I am cell shaded. I hit the wrong button because I don't know what I'm doing. Ah! Oh, why isn't that working? Hold on. Why button no work? Button work? Button no work. Why no button no work? Okay, now I'm back to normal. Seriously, why button no work? That why button no work. Somehow I hit the numlock key. So, what happens if I go huge again? And then, okay, everything's working again. So, fun fact, if you hit the numlock key, your numpad stops working. Who'd have thought? Camp Do It sounds like an interesting summer camp. It sounds like a summer camp that has a lot of implications. This reminds you of how one time, somehow, your installation of Oblivion got screwed up, and trying to launch it in windowed mode would make it window completely off screen. Ooh, that sucks. That's how I feel, I think, with Dark Souls 2. I think it launches in 4K every time I launch it, which is dumb. Traditionally, how that works with buttons. Fun fact, if you try to hit divide by 5, but you're over 1, instead you hit numlock off and then 4, which no longer does anything. You eventually resolved it by prodding at the innie. Why would you prod an innie? Something about that feels wrong. Is that legal in all states? The innie file. Got it. Okay, there. See? That is legal in all states. Good. Everything's fine. Which manages the game settings. The duality. You thought of the meme of the man screaming, "Just do it!" Yes. Lovely duality. Blue! Good night. Welcome on in. Fun fact, there's a setting to disable the invisible walls. Why? Some Oblivion mods that make you prod the innie. Malice. Behave. Reminds you of when you accidentally entered magnifier mode during a FF14 raid. Ah, that sucks. That's always a fun time. Why do I feel so natural being this gigantic while talking? Like, why does this feel more natural than me being like normal, like actual talking size? Actually, the desk is a little larger, isn't it? The desk is like this size, yeah? Why? Is it just so easy to be like, I am a floating head? Yeah. You know what? I think it's easier if I just leave my VTube Studio full screen, because if I move it back to normal screen, ooh, is it going to expose anything? Nope. But I can block chat. Nobody sees what you... Okay, so this is how it's... Yeah. This is how people do the just chatting and the thingies. Got it. Good old Shia LaBeouf. Can't believe he started as Even Stevens. Then he became somewhat good and popular because of holes in Transformers. And then he went psychotic. Acting. Oh, just because there is. You can wander into the void that is Oblivion in Skyrim. Ooh. You can oblivate the Skyrim. There was a gorgeous castle out of bounds? How dare they? Why would they be out of bounds the Castle of the Bindings? You got yourself a mod with a gorgeous castle out of bounds. That's just mean. The state of Texas is censoring Dragon Ball. Why? And for what? I just committed more? Committed more what? Crimes? Or was I committed more? Because I don't have any commitment issues. I've been in this asylum for years. Yeah, because I'm committed. Or at least my cover is that I am committed. How am I handling just chatting? I am talking to myself in a room alone, and magical voices are responding. So I think I'm doing pretty well. There's nothing you can gracefully do about when the map actually ends. This is true. But having stuff in the out of bounds makes it so that it's not just all nothing forestry would be nice. I mean, that's fair, but I guess that's why it's called out of bounds. You designed it where the map goes beyond the bounds, that the inner of the bindings, the inner bounds, so that people can look to the out of bounds and realize, I can't go there because it doesn't exist. But at least it's not the void. And then the out of bounds breaks that, because then you go out of bounds, but then there's nothing over there. But if there was something over there, it makes me want to go out of bounds. It was really handy for making sure it didn't overlap with other mods that rewrote the LOD data. Okay, I respect that. Like, if you put a castle that you can eventually, like, walk into because, like, you go through the store and you enter a brand new dungeon, then yes, shove it out of bounds, shove it underground, throw it in the sky, I don't care. You're talking about Mr. LaBouffe, the third greatest actor of our time. Oh! That's true, he did commit. Commit to the bit. You like weird places that you're not advantaged to be, like the ground of Arkved's retreat. I don't know what that is. Is that Arkveld's? It feels very close to Arkveld's, but I don't know what Arkved is. Arkved's Oasis. Don't know what that is. Yeah, if Shia LaBeouf is the third greatest actor, who's 1 and 2? My curiosity is now piqued as well. Just like my career. Nah. At least I make myself laugh. Your? Oh, there was a wrong your in there. Arkved's Oasis is a cell in Oblivion that's a ruined tower on an isolated island in Oblivion. I will be honest, I've never played Oblivion. I tried once. I failed. Miserably. I played a shitload of Skyrim, though. I just got emoted up. Which actually reminds me of the worst. Oh, wait, that got muted into the dirt, didn't it? Because since we're just talking, I'm realizing I have my voice focus on. Which, if memory serves, voice focus eats my laugh. Number 2 is me because of my performance and my just chatting streams. Aw, you think I'm acting. I am. Acting nuts. Number 1 is your wife for acting like she doesn't want to kill you every day. That's a very aggressive list you have there. Used to have so many clothes mods. Most people mod it the other way. But it's nice to always like have other skins and other outfits and being able to manipulate games like that. It's fun. Tower on an island with a lake of lava. I mean, life goals right there. I'm acting for just chatting? Yes, it's just acting, but talking. Roll a performance check. Please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this. We know what happens when I try to roll the performance check. Where is it? Where is it? It's here somewhere. I could have sworn. Hold on. Where is it? Actually, no joke this time. Where the hell is it? What on earth is that? Oh, it's because I'm a dum-dum. Please hold, please hold. Please hold, please hold. Huh. Okay. That's going to be fun to manipulate to start. Okay, we start with a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Does this do the thingy? Yes, it does. Let's see. We're going to guess to about there. Maybe do something like this. Don't worry. My babbling will make sense eventually. I hope. Let's see if that does it. Okay, that was actually pretty close. Do. All right, performance check time. Let's see. Well, let's be honest. If we're doing a check, I'm at least rolling a d20. That doesn't count. So if we're going to check my performance, I need to get ready. So, I am simply acting on this Just Chatting stream. How's my acting? Okay, that's not even funny. What the fuck? Like, seriously. Never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. The dice don't like. Shut the fuck up! God, seriously. It was the lowest possible off-brand roll possible. The fuck? I was even gonna preface like, wait. What's the skill check? What do I need? Doesn't fucking matter. There's no way I'm passing with that. Staying in character at least, right? At least it's on brand. Roll for charisma. No, I already did one skill check and I'm pissed. It means I can't act, which means I can't act lucky, which means the dice is bad. Considering you inherently dislike character creators where you have absolutely no control from the neck down. Respect. I very much have a love-hate relationship with character creators because I love being able to design a character however you want. That just gets entertaining, right? However, I kind of hate it when you spend an hour, 2, 3 hours designing a character, putting your heart and soul into it, and then the game has so much armor that you never get to see them. What's my ranks in performance? Low as shit, clearly. Because I tried to get them and I rolled a dice and it didn't work. I need to invest into some luck. Negative modifier for charisma. He pumped all his skill points into wide shoulders. Yes, I soldered them wides. My shoulders are not that wide. It's the collar. It is very misleading for the jacket. Because if I take the jacket off, I look kind of normal. The jacket is wide as shit, though. Also, I'm warm. Might as well chill out a little bit. Like in Demon Souls and Oblivion, you go very shallow on character creation. Change the hair, maybe 1 or 2 sliders done. Well, exactly. Like Demon Souls and Dark Souls, you don't need high-level character creator. You're about to put on some armor, so it doesn't matter. Do a flip. You just want to see my feet. Yeah, and you got it. How do I do this again? Is I hold this and then do that? Lean back. Lean back. Wait, what if I unbreak? So if I... and by unbreak, I mean I have removed the break from my scroll. I've never done this before. I'm putting the break back on as we line this up. So if I just do, say, this. Why did it stop there? Of all the things to stop on, why are my feet pointing at you? I did not like that. That is not happening again. That was a good experiment. Never again. Am I straight? I can't tell if I'm straight. Well, I'm not straight, but I think I'm straight. Up and down. Not in any other way. Do a barrel roll. No. I did I did the most flips that I could. You're gonna say at least get +2 for proficiency? Yes, I would love some proficiency. But it won't save me. No. Not with my luck. This reminds me of the first time I ever played D&D. Did I ever tell you guys the first time I ever played D&D? Do I have one leg shorter? No. Okay, that's right. We're going on this. I don't have one leg shorter. I have one leg cocked. Like, see, it's a bent knee. It's not a shorter. Also, ignore the fading. I don't know why it does that. It's not shorter. It's just bent backwards into the dimension that we do not have. So it looks shorter, which means technically, yes, it's shorter. Shut up! The anime pro tag jacket, that is fair. Oblivion mods help the armor problem. Malice, behave! Yes, there are actually some incredible Oblivion and Skyrim mod armors. I've seen some really gorgeous ones. Like, specifically, the most basic one, I think it was my introduction to Skyrim modding, was they changed what the... What's the words I'm looking for? The dragon scale armor to actually look fucking good. Not just leather, but dragon. His leg is disappearing. No, it is not. It's all fine. I just lost it in the exchange, if you will. You feel better about trying to make an involved character if it at least give you a character code so that if you want to start over, you can just punch the code in and instantly get the same character. Some games do actually do that, which is nice. But personally, I've gotten to have a lot more fun with going into character selections that have the random button. I've been having a lot of fun with that lately. So it's like people use look-alike of celebrities and cartoon characters. Have fun the way you have fun. Oh, I never told you about how I play D&D. I can do that. So the first time I ever played D&D, this was back in high school. No idea how to play. Obviously, I've heard of D&D because everybody hears of D&D. But my friends play, like, not religiously, not super competitively. You know what I mean? Like, they're not super into it, but they have a lot of fun. So one of my friends is being a DM of a game. And he's like, Crit, do you want to play? Have you ever played D&D? No, but sure, teach me how. It's like, wonderful. DM was very considerate, taught me the ropes. Apparently, I spent all of my luck in the first 10 minutes. So we roll for my stats. I get relatively high rolls. I cannot remember how to roll for stats. But all I remember is I had, like, every single stat was 2 or 3 away from the maximum. So I got really lucky high rolls. I started off really strong. And the DM is considerate. We get into a combat very early because combat had weird rules. And what he was trying to do was teach me how all of the different, like, mechanics in the game work. It's like, well, you designed this character, you have these abilities, you can interact this way, here are your stats. How do you want to distribute them? You want to fight? Cool. There's a lizard in the road. It's a slightly venomous lizard. Not enough to poison you, but enough that it will try to bite you at every given opportunity. So I approach. Well, clearly I'm faster. So, all right. What do you want to do? I want to attack it with my knife. DM says, cool. Roll. I get a 20. Natural crit. He's like, oh shit. Do it again. Because apparently when you, like, critical hit, you need to roll for something else. I roll again. 19. DM says, holy fuck. Roll one more time, just for shits and giggles. I get a natural 20. He's like, okay. You look at the lizard, and it disappears into a different dimension and gets vaporized into a puddle of ash. Have a nice day. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good with this. You roll 4 d6s, drop the lowest, add the rest together. You have a stat. Got it. I couldn't remember if it was roll 1 and add to stats or whatnot, but I think on most of my stats, when I rolled my 4 d6s, I came up with at least 2 5s every single time, and most of them were 2 5s and a 6. So I got a lot of 16s, 17s, and I think I got 1 18 out of it. Stuff like that. So I critical hit a lizard that posed absolutely no threat. I think the DM told me afterwards that the lizard had exactly 3 HP, and I think I crit every single HP of it out of existence. So cool. I still don't know how to play the game, but apparently all you have to do is roll high numbers on the dice and you can do anything you want. Karma understood what I was thinking and decided to, I think the correct way of describing this is bend me over and ream my ass. There might be a better way of saying that, but I'm going to go with that one. So I get into the next combat. I'm finally with my friends. Everybody's talking. We're in a lovely garden. And there's a weird looking garden gnome. I want to read all your messages, but I want to keep telling my story. Oblivion Remastered apparently lets you break the sliders and get a Cyclops. That's awesome. You think you roll dice and every 2 points gives 9. Every 2 points above 9 gives you +1. Oh, interesting. Rolled a hit and roll for the damage, ain't it? Oh, that's probably what it was. So yeah, I critical hit, he just told me to keep rolling the D20, and I rolled it 3 times, and I got a 20, 19, and a 20 in a row. Again, I haven't played D&D outside of this event. I've only played D&D 1 or 2 times, so I'm very poor at the game. Anyway, still don't know what I'm doing. Walking around with my friends, having a grand old time, just keep playing make-believe and talking about wizards and dragons and dungeons, and it's great. So anyways, Karma's feeling it, and I'm about to feel it from Karma, which isn't a person. But we get into a garden. There's a suspicious-looking garden gnome. One for each of us, as a matter of fact. I think I'm playing with like 3 friends and a DM, so there's 4 players plus the dungeon master. My friends use their expert knowledge of the game and avoid the garden gnome. They notice something in the back of the garden. They go to investigate. Okay, finally gets to my turn. I try to follow them, but I'm in proximity of a garden gnome. So Dungeon Master's like, wonderful. Do a grapple check, or do a agility check, or do some kind of check to just step over the garden gnome. I get a 2. And I will tell you right now, I don't remember any of the numbers that I hit on the high end. I think I might be exaggerating with a 20, 19, 20. It's something along those lines of the DM told me that I hit the lizard so hard he vanished into a different dimension out of sheer damage. I don't recall the specifics of that. I will tell you from this point forward, I remember every agonizing second as it's ingrained in my soul. So I roll a 2 on whatever check I was trying to do to get away from the garden gnome. DM says, well, shit, that's a failure. Not only do you not step over the garden gnome, you trip, you fall, and you smash your face right into this stone figure that's alive and wants to kill you. So since you smash your head on it, take a damage. It's the garden gnome's turn. It is going to latch onto your face and kick you in the jaw. Damage check. Apparently I survived this one. Somehow. Whatever. My friends, fuck off and go do something else. Comes to my turn. I have a garden gnome latched onto my face with the sole intention of shoving its foot into my jaw until I die. So I perform a word that still haunts me to this day. I perform a grapple check. Easy enough. Roll D20. I get a 1. My DM looks at me and just utters the phrase, huh. Well, you attempt to get the slippery little shit off your face, but you just can't seem to get a grip. Instead, your hands slip off the gnome. You kind of clap behind him. Has different meaning nowadays. Startling the gnome to the point where he again kicks you in the jaw, take a damage. Most friendly garden gnome. Yes, he's just giving me the longest of hugs. All right, I have so far taken 2 damage of my own accord because of this fucking garden gnome. Turns go by. Comes to me again. Grapple check. I get a 2. I fail the grapple check. The gnome kicks me in the teeth again. Every time the gnome gets a turn, it tries to punch me. It tries everything it can. I think my armor rating dodges most of the on his turn effects. Not on my turn. Critical misses. You don't get things like that. So first turn was a 2, then I get a 1, then I get a 2 again. Comes to me. 4th round, this gnome still mounting my face. Grapple check. And lo and behold, I get the most infamous number that I have ever gotten on a D20, to the point that I decided to make it my icon. I get a 1. I take another damage. I have now lost all of my hit points as this brand new overpowered character that, for his first attempt, ran at a lizard and touched it so hard. Wait, could have said that better. Hit it with my knife so hard that it vaporized and interdimensionally traveled all at the same time. And then, while trying to escape a garden gnome, I critical miss with the worst luck you have ever seen in your life and die. My friends are ecstatic. They are both laughing in sheer just disbelief of what is happening. And also, it's a pretty fucking funny fucking moment, let's be honest. I died to a garden gnome, and I asked my friend afterwards. He told me the grapple check was a 4. For any of you math nerds at home, how much of a chance do you have to roll a 5 or higher on a D20? The answer is pretty fucking good. I think it's a 75% chance. Damn, that's a foul introduction. Yes. Yes. I rolled a 2-1, 2-1, died to a garden gnome because I can't pass a grapple check. And that is actually the origin of the multi-1 D20. I did not come up with the D20 with only 1s on it, but I have adapted it as my icon, as my symbol, as my badge of honor, because of this goddamn game of D&D. However, I will state, it is not just this singular game of D&D that has led to this. My luck in anything has always been bad. The D&D story just personifies it. You could say I am the embodiment of a critical miss. You could say that I was named for the critical miss. You could say that I existed before the critical miss. In fact, the critical miss was named after the discovery of my luck. You could say that the term critical miss was even named after the one and only critical Mith himself. Seriously, rough first session. Also, the party who didn't have your back also sucks. They found something in the back of the garden. I don't know what they were doing. Obviously, I couldn't see or hear them. I had a garden gnome on my face. It sounds like we could say a lot of things. You could say a lot of things, and I appreciate you censoring yourself and making sure you don't say all of them at once. And that's why you don't ever play D&D. I still like D&D. I also played Pathfinder a little bit. It was all right. They kind of embody the same purpose. I think as I got older, I became better at D&D because when I was in high school and college and every time I would try, I'm just realizing I need to upload the D21 as an emote. As soon as YouTube allows me to add another emote, I'm going to add the D20 and call it bad luck. Or crit luck. Crit luck. That's probably a good one. You'll be sending a Dropbox file with all of it combined. No. We don't need a Google Docie of you, of everything you could say. But as I was saying, back in high school and college, when I was playing D&D, I much more treated like a combat simulator. So I was more interested in how do I get to the next zone? How do I get to the next fight? It's kind of the way that I currently play video games. I don't give a shit about your story. Just get me into the gameplay. Let me play the game. And that's not what D&D is about. There's a part of it because that's what it is. There is the exploration and the combat side of things because that has to have rules to it. But D&D is communal story time. I think that's the best way I've described it. UIRL with video games. I feel that. But D&D is about a communal story. You're there with friends, and you're there to tell a story together with all the ups, downs, and everything. The combat's a part of it because, again, we're doing a fantasy story, and fantasy tends to have conflict, and that's resolved with violence. But you want to play it like you're embodying a character, that you're having interactions. Interact with the NPCs. Talk to people. Say what this person would actually do in this real situation. Tell an enjoyable story together. And I think now that I'm older and I don't really care about the combat that much, I almost go into D&D sessions now with friends. I haven't played one in a while, mind you. But like the next one that I do get into, I'm going to do a pacifist approach. I want to play a character who doesn't do any damage. All he has are like makeshift weapons, so he does shit damage. And all he tries to do is talk his way out of things. Make other things happen. Be a master manipulator, if you will. I want to do things like play a song that makes you think your friend is your enemy. So go on, shoo. Go deal with it. Or state, you are about to attack me, but what if we played cards instead? One of your favorite D&D stories was in the first session, the DM made you wrestle a brown bear. You are a wizard. You are also quite talented. You wrestled a brown bear. Did you win? Wait, I need to ask that. Did you win? You kind of miss DMing for your friend group. No one really wants to play nowadays, though. It gets harder as you get older to maintain like a friend group that wants to play D&D. I have definitely come across and noticed that people are just busy. They don't have time to commit, especially like a long story, right? It's hard to not just do a one-shot. The last session I was actually in, I was actually a bard, so I love playing bards. That's why I kind of alluded to that's the character I wanted. Although the DM wouldn't let me make my guitar anything more than a makeshift weapon. I wanted a bludgeoning weapon that just happened to play music. Wait, isn't that just percussion? D&D is about dragons and dungeons, nothing more, nothing less. I will say nothing less, but it is plenty more. Can you recommend the Tom Cardy songs, Perception Check, and Love Letter to a DM? You can. Recommended they are. No, wizards are made of cotton candy. Correct. And we all know brown bears love cotton candy. It's one of their most favorite prey. You're reminded of a meme. I can kill a guy in one turn. I can kill a guy in half a turn. I can kill a guy before my turn. I can get 3 idiots to kill guys for me. Oh, that's hilarious. You had 7 HP. Bear had about 40. You there. Wrestle this brown bear. Ah, yes. Ugh. Well, what do you think was going to happen? You wrestled a brown bear. You're a wizard. You should have shot him with magic. You told me to wrestle him. I didn't tell you to survive. What's my favorite class? So far, it's Bard. Because I think I played it twice. Actually, I have no idea what class I was when I got my teeth kicked in by a garden gnome. But in my latest session with my friends, which, again, fell apart just because schedules were hard and we just couldn't find days to consistently play, so eventually we just stopped, I was a Bard. I have a lot of fun with the Bard class. Is that obvious? I feel like that's obvious. I am a hunting horn main. I'm a singer, percussionist. I play a low guitar, a little piano. I play a tuba, a baritone, and a trumpet. Yeah, I think I'm pretty musically inclined. Let's go, Bards! Yeah! God damn. What an origin to the bad luck being personified. And the bad luck shows itself in the worst ways. Like, I don't know how many of you guys, and I voice act. True. I guess I was thinking bards purely from a musical standpoint, but that's a good point. Just from a pure entertainer standpoint, I do voice act. I'm a VTuber. and I play a shitload of instruments. Yeah. Maybe that's why I choose Bard, because it's really easy to pretend to be one. I was pivoting. What was I pivoting to? How was I pivoting? Do I pivot like this? Do I pivot like this? Or do I pivot like... Wait. Why am I so tiny? Me back. There we go. Now me back. I was pivoting. I was trying to pivot. I forgot what I was going to pivot to. Role-playing imaginary Bard class IRL, also called VTuber. Yes. Don't call me out, though. But yes. Also very yes. There was an old prestige class called Shadow Dancer that you wish had gotten updated. I've heard of it. I've never gotten there. Right. I was talking about my bad luck, and I was going to bring up Pokemon Pocket. Because I don't know if anybody here plays Pokemon Pocket. I have been playing Pokemon Pocket since it came out because I treat it as a collection. And to me, it's exactly what I want out of a phone game. It's something that makes me sign on once or twice a day in order to open a pack that occasionally fills me with dopamine, mostly fills me with dread when I don't pull what I want. And they keep releasing new stuff faster than I can collect the old stuff, so all of the collection isn't full and then they move on it. It pisses me off. Anyways, what I want to talk about is my bad luck personified as good luck. So the new pack came out, and all I want is Suicune. As soon as I saw Suicune, I realized Suicune Greninja is going to be an S tier deck, and I feel validated because I think I'm right. And I've seen other articles saying Suicune Greninja is an S tier deck. But I open up the 10 pack that I was like saving and got enough from doing the battles. So I open a 10 pack. You know what I open? I open 2 Raikos and an Entei. So cool. If Raikou was playable, which he kind of is, kind of not really, I would have all my Raikos. And then I'm 1 short on an Entei, but 0 Suicunes. Motherfucker. Anyways, a few days go by. Open up a few more packs. You know what I get? That's right. I get the alternate art Raikou. Still no Suicunes. Same rarity, by the way, but nope, get an alternate art Raikou. The worst of the dogs in the specific Pocket TCG. Raikou is fine in other TCGs. Raikou's actually decent and competitive, and Raikou is one of the best dogs ever, let's be honest. I open a couple more packs. I got a few more pack energy. What do I get? That's right. The ever hard to fucking get Rainbow Rare Raikou. I own 4 Raikous, 1 Entei, and 0 Suicunes. This is what I like to call luckily unlucky. Or unluckily lucky. One of the two. Doesn't fucking matter. I pulled 4 Raikous trying to build a Suicune Greninja deck, and I pulled 0 Suicunes. I have now pulled the immersive art Suicune, so I feel a little lucky there. But I'm still 1 Suicune short. I'm still annoyed that I got every rarity of Raikou before I got a single fucking Suicune. Nah. Back on the subject of character creation. You despise binary locking of things. Ah, yeah, just the on or off, or option 1, option 2. Yeah, I like it when there's a slide in between. Unless it is binary like hairstyles. You heard about Pokemon Pocket, but do I ever play Marvel Snap? I stayed away from Marvel Snap. There was a Marvel game that I played on my phone for a while. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was Marvel Puzzle Quest. And that one sucked me in pretty hard. But as soon as I fell out of that and then Marvel Snap came out, I started to fade away from just anything Marvel. Because I still enjoy Marvel Puzzle Quest. But I started to get kind of sick of the characters and the release schedule. And they're like, now it's a Marvel card game. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. The amount of fucks I have given to Marvel already, I am out of them. No, like, you despise, you can't use this hairstyle on this kind of character. Oh, that's what you mean. So not the binary locking, you mean just compatibility locking. Things like what the new Monster Hunter Wilds fixed by saying there is male and female armor. but anyone can wear it, which has been a lot of fun to make male characters just wearing the skimpiest outfits and calling it armor. Really fun to do. And then you get a female who's just in the heaviest armor possible because now she's actually safe. Protection. Use it. Wait, I didn't mean it that way. I meant exclusively in hunting. When hunting, wear armor. That's what I meant. I meant nothing else. Even though technically it's still a good message, I just don't want to be the one saying it. Anyways, stop it, both of you. Fucking damn it. Why do I not think before I speak? Why is my mouth faster than my brain? Okay, I'm glad my brain actually caught up on that one. I almost said something terrible. Not like terrible, like was going to be offensive. Terrible, like I was going to be so embarrassed that I might have had to walk out of the room. But there's recently been a trend of saying things like type A and type B instead of male and female. Yes, which I think is a very respectful way of calling it with type A, type B. Especially with how many people don't identify binary anymore, or maybe feel a little uncomfortable with identifying as trans. I think it's very accommodating to call something type A and type B instead of just male and female. You think it'd be bad to just abandon saying one or the other outright? I agree, but I still like the idea of there, because like when a person wants to design a character, their gender is something that they should be allowed to consider. But I do appreciate calling it a type A or type B model, because you could be male, but with like a type B body type, or female with a type A model type. It's very possible, and especially with all the new controls and whatnot. For example, in Monster Hunter, I do believe the character I made is male, but I think I gave him a female haircut. And when I say male and female, I do mean the type A and type B. But I designed a male character because I try to make him look like me. But the closest thing to my hairstyle was in the quote-unquote type B, or the female section of the hairstyles, but it works. Thank you for giving us freedom. Just deal every card and let whatever someone wants to do, just do it. Exactly. I don't mind organizing it. When eating food, make sure to use condiments. 100%. Always coat your food in condiments. Never want the food naked. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I'm going to slip, and it's going to be bad. This is the field on which I grow my fucks. Notice that it is barren. That's because I have no fucks to give. Well stated. Yes, this is where I would place my fucks if I had one. God. Who would have thought memes from like, I can't believe we've gone an hour. I'm actually impressed. Who would have thought that memes from like Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, and all of this, and before they were memes, just quotes, would have lasted this long? This is why I've never enjoyed things where people like say, well, Crit, I have a question for you. What is your 5-year plan? Here at the company, we care about your future. What does it look like for you? And I respond with, I barely planned a month ahead because you have no fucking idea what's going to happen. So instead of having my plans ruined 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to plan for the next month and deal with the swings as they come. Not always the best method, but it's the method that I choose to use. You're fond of errorfucks.exe not found. Oh, I like that. 0 fucks given and 0 fucks expected. God. I've been watching too much Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That sounds like the title of my sex tape. Ah, shit, that's a self-burn. Mother, you don't know what you do tomorrow? I can at least plan a month ahead because that's normally how long I look before I'm like, can I take a vacation around here? I'm going to take a vacation around here, and then I'm going to wait. Perhaps fucks.dll would make a little more sense. Too fancy as soon as you start talking about DLLs instead of EXEs. EXEs, even computer illiterate people are like, that means computer stuff. But if you say fucks.dill, they're like, the fuck is a dill? Timmy Dad Dinkelberg. Wait, are you Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Damn it. Are you the Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome? That's right, Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. A pickle. A dill is a pickle. You know, I've said it before. I've quoted you before. I'm going to say it again. I sometimes hate it when you're right. You speak facts, but my God, are they irritating when you do. How do you do that? But you are correct. A dill is a pickle. Technically, a dill is a plant that is used to flavor the pickle. Hold on. I'm starting to understand how you have this talent, and I am borrowing it for a second. My turn to be annoyingly right. The greatest kind of right. Do it! A dill is a plant that is used to flavor the pickle because it has a nice sour taste to it that counteracts all the sugars that is naturally inside of a cucumber. It is strange that we just call it a pickle because I actually don't know. Why did the pickling process of a cucumber, why is that what inherited the name a pickle? Technically, you can pickle anything if you put it in a brine salt solution so that it gets salted, it loses some of its water, and it lasts longer because you salted it. But a pickle is a pickled cucumber. We talk about pickled beets. We talk about pickled onions. Next time, but you gotta go. That's right, Omi. It's late as fuck. Go to bed. But I appreciate you hanging out. You're a cucumber, get pickled with dill? That is a one. Pickled eggs, that's another one. Although I'll admit, like, soy eggs are the things that pop into my head now whenever I think of anything done to an egg. It's weird. Why do I just read that sentence in a threatening manner? You're a cucumber, get pickled with dill? Because it's a damn good insult, actually. Well done. Rowan? I heard him squeak. Hold on one second. I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Let me just go check on the Emperor quick. Actually, no. I'm going to walk over here. That's right. I can move to the right. I'll be right back. Don't actually fucking count. God damn it. The Emperor is fine. Everything is good. That's right. There was one thing that I kind of wanted to do, and I was kind of alluding to this at the beginning of stream. The background. I have been told before that the background, it's not bad. Like, it gets the point across. And monotonous and bland, isn't it? The term I've been told is it would be nice to add something to it. Something where your eyes can just get slightly distracted with. And let's be honest, we don't go to this screen very often, so it's not so much a concern on this screen. It's more a concern on, I wonder if this transition is going to work. It works for the most part. I guess there's nothing wrong with me being a different size if I can just adjust to here. But like, here for a second, the game's over there, I'm over here, chat's over here, but I've still been told I kind of wish there was something to break it up. And I'm like, okay. I wonder how. Hiding garden gnome behind the chair. That's brilliant, actually. Adding a garden gnome, I think, is actually a brilliant idea. Hold on. We're actually going to do this. But like, what I was going to do was, what happens if I like fill the void of the desk? You know, the desk, like right here or so. Normally, like whenever I do collabs, this is where like the collab people hang out. That's why I kind of left it blank. And you know, technically the socials over here does move. So that's something to do. But honestly, I'm taking a look at this thing. My little icon, my little message that describes who I am. I kind of want to animate it a little bit, but I don't know how. But I also want to make it like diegetically animated. I have an idea. I don't know if I can pull it off though. So this is going to be fine. Anyways, I like the idea of the garden gnome. And we're going to do that live. So hold on. Let's see. Can I find quickly a garden gnome image? Garden gnome ping. Or do we make sure I don't steal another person's image and instead draw our own garden gnome? That means it'll be in my style, and I am very bad at drawing, which makes me like the idea more. All I need is a reference. Well, the good news is it's pretty simple. Boots, tunic, belt, red cone hat, old. And don't worry, there's no way if we do draw this live, that I'm just going to ignore it and start drawing just without visual. I'm going to see, whoa, we're not going to see that yet. That was a wrong button, but something I should probably show off. Something I might show off. Let's see if I can get this to work. Let me see. If I do this, will it connect? Holy shit, it at least appears. This shouldn't work. Okay, because it doesn't work. Understood. Oh, fuck. It's trying to work. It's failing miserably. We're just gonna blank that out for a second. Please ignore that. Let's see. What do I want to add? I want to add a window capture. I believe that's what I want. Yes, a window capture. Don't make visible. I want to grab this for now. Will that work? It's a little large. We can fix that. Let's fix it now. Well, let's move it, say, there. Shrinky, shrinky. Shrinky, shrinky. God, why is it so weird? Seriously, what's wrong with its dimensions? Why doesn't it act normal? Why can't it normal? Why weird? Oh. It is normal. I'm dumb. There we go. Hello. Just got done with this Demon Slayer movie. Sus Iron. G'day. Welcome in. Welcome on in. That's the first time I think I've ever butchered that. How's it going? How was the movie? Capture cursor. Yes. I should be able to hit this, and then I should be where to go. Lock it down. Wait, what's this? Understood. That's a little different. Why did I do video screen? That feels weird. Anyways. Why does it look like that? Why? Why is the space all black up here? Also, why can't you see what's actually... Wait, hold on. I need to do a quick test. Oh. Okay, so you can see this. What happens if I... Actually, I do need to just do a quick test. Can I just... Why don't you see that? This is dumb. I thought that was being clever. The movie was pretty good. Good to hear. Wow, this is embarrassing. So apparently, it shows the program, but it doesn't show the image that's being edited. Well, that's just stupid. Which means that's what this is, right? That means I should turn that off. Unfortunately, Yeah, unfortunately. It means the way to get it is to do this. Hang on one sec. I need to just get rid of that real quick. I guess this will be fine. Okay, now you can see everything because I can't show blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Apparently, showing my paint tool is hard because I can either show the tool but not the images itself. That's dumb. Doesn't matter. We got there in the end. But I'm glad the Demon Slayer movie was good. I'm very interested in it. I guess I'm going to get a little cinematic now that we have a bright cork board shining on me. Well, this makes sense. I'm a spy. Of course I would have a hidden screen in my cork board. Don't you? Anywho, let's make ourselves a garden gnome. Okay, so we have a wonderful background. That's cool. I want to make at least make some layers. Yes, that's right. Over here we make layers because that's what fancy artists do. So let's start with the bottom layer, which is going to be a just rough outline. We're going to make a terrible looking gnome. LED backlit corkboard. Exactly. Standard issue spy stuff. So I'm going to just make general shapes because I just want to, like, get an idea of, like, what we're going for here. So, like, maybe we can draw out, like, a hat. Okay, I didn't like that curve. Redo. So we go down here and go, like, a hat. Yeah. And then it the hat finishes. Do we want to, like, make it, like, give it a brim? Make it, like, a witch hat? What am I doing? Why is there so much empty space? Let's just zoom in a bit. See, now we have better. Do we want to give it a brim, or do we just want to, like, bring the hat, like, down on his face? You know, I kind of like this. I kind of like this more. All right, so we have a hat, and then under the hat, or what the hat attaches to, we're just going to make a big old round ball. Again, this is rough. This is the rough stage. We are in the rough stages. It's rough, but also smooth. So smooth. Let's see. So a face, and then we give like a little pudgy body. Yeah, pudgy body. Then round it out, and then I don't know. We just like give it boots. Look, a gnome. Yeah, so smooth. All right, rough idea of gnome. Okay, I think I want to make the hat not as long, or maybe we just image, resize, height. Let's give it another 200 pixels more. There we go. Go. Control Z that. Image, canvas size. Let's give it another 200 pixels. There we go. Probably won't use it. Go to the background, go to fill that in. Go back to the layer. I want a little more boot shape. So let's go like here into like a boot. Okay, maybe smaller than that, but we get the idea. And then we can just like give him like a belt. I don't know, like some kind of a belt. Maybe a button, And then does he need any kind of arms, hands? The references that I'm looking at, all gnomes have hands, and they're just kind of like either like just little like, okay, they're like behind him. There, good enough. Then we have eye. Well, actually, the gnome that I'm looking at, I actually kind of like this, where it isn't an eye and an eye. It's actually just a hat, a nose, and then a big scruffy beard. And this makes me happy. See, isn't it lovely? Look at our wonderful gnome. Cleanest gnome you've ever seen. With and without background. Ha ha ha! He's invisible. He's not invisible. Anywho. So like a gnome. So if we go to another layer, say like this layer, let's just start with the hat. Let's actually make a good looking hat. Let's go over to the paintbrush. Yeah, 14. Start with a red. What kind of a red do we want? Do we want real red? Do we want somewhat red? Let's go with... Let's just go with kind of more of an orange. I'm feeling an orange. Would it be inappropriate to make one of his boots covered in blood? Yes. But I like it. All right, so then we start with a hat. So a hat could be like this, and then it curves along the face. And then it comes down. All right, I think I need to make the hat bigger. And that's okay. That's why we do it in red. It's a little bird. There's just a happy accident. Welcome to Crit Ross's drawing of his assets. There we go. Just fill it in. Fill it in. Oh, yes. Yes, it's so nice. And then we just hit that fill button. Look at that. So silk, so smooth. Fill in those little white gaps that are along these lines. And there we go. We have a hat. It's a lovely hat. It's a gnome hat. It's a garden gnome. He looks like the gnome from the animated movie Romeo and Juliet. I doodled with terribleness. I hope not. Happy little gnome time. Yes. Welcome back to some happy little gnome. We can make the hat go a little further because if we're going for the like full facial coverage, stop it. We can add a little bit more hat to our gnome here. There we go. Look at that, nice and lovely. Ooh, 1 second. I'm curious. If I turn on this music, what happens? How loud is it? I haven't pushed it yet. Hold on. I'm realizing I need to unmute for a sec. Oh, wait, was that coming through my mic? That might have been coming through my mic. Maybe I should stay muted. It's a little loud, but I like it. Hold on, I really like that song, actually. Hold on, how do I do this? I kind of want to actually do this now. That is a BGM. Can I just add a audio output? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Extra music. But the device... Oh, I don't want that. No. Not audio output. What is... Oh, it's an audio file. There we go. That's what I want to add. Media source. Another music. There we go. What was this called again, and where do I find it? I want to add this music. This music is nice and relaxing, and I don't think I use it anywhere. I think I did use this music in like one of our redeems. Hold on, what's it actually called? It is Moonlight Sonata. Did I make? I have made quite a few versions of this. Let's just put it on. Restart playback when source becomes active. Loop. Sorry about that. Also, for some reason, I can't hear it. Advanced audio properties. Oh, that's why. Monitor and output. Now I should be able to hear it. Sorry for that loudness. Yeah, that was loud as shit. That is my bad. There we go. Some nice art music, right? Let me know if it's too loud. I'm trying to have it so it's like present, but not overbearing. Yeah, we're gonna leave it about there. Anyways, back to the gnome. What a lovely gnome. I love the gnome. All right. Yeah, let's just kind of work through the pieces. So let's now move on to, say, like one of these colors. But I want even lighter. There we go. Oh, and then I'm going to switch layers, as a matter of fact. And we're just going to draw on a nice little nose. There we go. Look at the nice little gnome. Onions have layers. This is true. And so does our gnome. There we go. Just like cakes. Cakes have layers. Everybody likes cakes. All right, we got a wonderful little gnome there. So we're going to need a lot of layers now that I think about it. See? Already looking gnomish. Ooh, and that's good to know, actually, thinking about it. That means the beard has to cover everything. I am actually going to switch over to, and this is going to look strange because it's probably not going to work right away. Or I'm going to have to do this. Because I need a white in order to pull off the beard. Ooh, this is actually going to be really tricky because I want to add depth to the beard, which means there's going to have to be some drawing in. Parfaits are the best damn thing around. Parfaits are delicious. So let's see. It's going to look a little strange at first. Just trust the process. All right, so let's just start with getting beard shape. And I guess this just gets filled in, right? I don't really need to do scriggly back and forth for here because, well, this is gonna be underneath a hat. That's underneath the nose, perfect. Make sure we got perfect coverage. Look at that, look at that. I don't even know why hold on, I need to get rid of his nose for a second. Gotta make sure we have perfect coverage. And we don't. Holy crap. That's terrible. When did just chatting turn into me doodling? I'm not upset. Everybody loves parfaits. Parfaits might be the best damn thing on this planet. I am now realizing it's less beard-like and more just blob of white. We can make it beard-like, and I know exactly how. So we're going to go in with a smaller brush. We're going to take our darkness and up it up just a bit. Maybe about 80. We're just going to add in our beard wisps. Cover the other side, too. Can't forget the other side. There we go. Bring the nose back. Look at that. It's starting to look like an actual beard. And don't worry, this guy's going to be really tiny. So it doesn't matter how terrible this is. It's going to be funny. Although I will admit, I wish I didn't go as dark with that gray. It would have been a little nicer if it was closer to, say, a 90, right? Yeah, that would have been better. Oh, well. Just means we have a lot of undoing to do. And now that I think about it, never do it on the same layer. Always doing it on a separate one. Because now we can even lighten it up further. Like, what's a 95? Yeah. Nice and light. Just enough so you know it's there. I kind of like the swirly effect. There we go. Bring this back. Look at that. Now we have a beard. And then if we bring the background back, it all disappears. To be expected. All right, on. It's about here. Go a little smaller. I do like this music track. It's nice and relaxing on a wonderful day. Again, I hope it's not too loud. Let's see. Let's go with a nice darkened blue. Something around like corduroy kind of color. Maybe a little more blue. There we go. Then we need to create a layer. Move it up here, I guess. Bring it down. Just move through the beard, because why not? It's not going to be seen. Look at that, and then a nice simple fill. And some touch-up. Apparently fill is not perfect. And you just gotta fill in those tiny little gaps. Yeah, just like that. So we're gonna get some nice royal blue over here. And remember to cover your canvas in a nice layer of liquid white. Bob Ross is a fucking legend. And he rest in peace. Yes, he's memed on nowadays, but in a positive manner. Ah, look at this red, white, and blue we got going on. What a godsend. Let's see, we move over here, make it a little more red. Where's that brown gonna be at? Somewhere around here, and then darken it. Ultramarine blue. Yes, a classic. To go with that phthalo blue. We can go darker than that. There we go. That's boot brown. I kind of like the idea of a pudgy boot. Yes? Yeah. We can start with that pudgy looking boot. Maybe give it a little more dimension down there. Maybe a little bit less dimension. And then just go straight up. Then again, you need to connect them, because otherwise this fill is going to be terrible. And then fill and fill and fill. All of this just because of a suggestion of let's put a garden gnome in your background. And I like the idea. I honestly did not think the doodle was going to take this long to pull off, though. I was going for like super lazy level of doodle, and actually I have a way of being super lazy level of doodle. So we're just going to take this and get rid of it, and then I'm going to take this shoe and copy and paste it, and then shoop, there. Lazy! And a happy little shrub, yes. What a patriotic gnome indeed. This gnome can get it. All right, and then we're gonna go for slightly even darker on this brown. Sorry, I need to swap over here quick, then go to the paintbrush. Give him a nice, happy little belt. There we go. Lovely little belt. Give some erase. Erase that off. There we go. Oh, too far. There we go. Look at all the lovely layers we're getting now. Let's move over to a goldenrod yellow. Maybe give it a little dark. Maybe lighten it up like that. Yeah. Get that saturation back. And man, I did a horrible job with that. That's okay. We're just gonna give him a nice little belt button. Look at that, almost a perfect circle. Zoom out. And we're gonna go back to, shoot, I forgot the color already. Okay, let's pick it up. Grab that color. Also, let's fix these mistakes. Am I in the belt layer? I am in the belt layer. Can't make these mistakes on such a simple drawing. Simple mistakes add up. I don't want all these happy little birds. I can't afford birds. Give him a little button. And another little button. Always off center because buttons are never centered. Because why would they be? All right, and then here we're going to go one layer up. But we're going to take the same blue. This is going to look weird at first, but trust the process. Just trust the process. We're going to go over here. And we're going to fill in that section. There we go. They look like bulbous now, but they won't. Trust. Because it's really looking like that. I want to flatten that out a little bit. Give a little more shoulder. Maybe a little less shoulder. Is it obvious I'm not an artist? I feel like I'm trying to be obvious that I'm not an artist. And would you look at that? We have a little garden gnome. Although I do see I would like to do one more thing. And that is match. Where did I put the belt? Oh, here it is. I want to put a buckle on the shoes. There we go. Literally sketching a recognizable thing. I'm not an artist, though. I'm not a, my artist style is very stick artistry, and I appreciate it. I love being a stick artist because it has this kind of charm to it. Now we get to do one of my favorite things about all of my art, or any of my art, and that's we can get rid of the wireframe, because look, we have a gnome. So let's delete that. I want the background gone because I want this to be a PNG, but this is the part that I've been looking forward to, which is a very dumb part, mind you, but it's the very simple thing of the fact that you have things like outline the object. Not in that color, Jesus. Outline it in black, though. Yep. And we're just going to do this to almost every single layer now. Select, object, outline. Because it's going to add something to it. Also, I'm realizing I have these layered wrongs. I need it like this. Ooh, and it's a good thing we did that. Because look at the stinky lines that we have to erase. Because they got a little too much with the hat. There we go. All right. We're not going to outline the stink lines. Stink lines don't need to be outlined. The nose does. Outline. Look, I'm cheating. And it's working effectively. But if you ever want to get into art, I highly recommend getting a tool like this. This is called paint.net. This is completely free, unless you go through the Microsoft store, in which case it's a couple of bucks, like I think 10, maybe 15. But, no, you get it, just teasing a little, and I deserved it. All good. Hold on. I did get a message. What'd you send me? I really hope you drew that yourself, and I'm proud of you for it. I am sorry it took me so long to notice that message. Anyways. Damn, well done. as a matter of fact. Ooh, look at that. It kind of did what I was hoping for. Effects, object outline. Yeah, there we go. And then I want to put the layers down here. Look at that. If you want proof of why you should have layer objects, look at that. It looks like it actually is connected to the back now. However, there's one thing that I have to do in order to make it even celled more, and that's whatever I did, I regret it. I should make this smaller is what I should do. We're just gonna erase a little bit of the outline. Yeah, we'll fill that in with blue. So we can sell his armpit level. Like that. Because now we can actually see that the two things actually connect. Meaning his arm actually connects. Then we're going to have to go back to the blue a little bit. That's okay. Let's just grab it from this layer. Fill that in. Fill that in. Fill that in. There we go. Anyways, I need to show you guys something quick. So let me get this up on screen quick because Phantoms decided to share us his gnome. And we're going to share it with the world because I think that'd be fun. Also, let me get this, this thing actually moved. There we go. So let's see. What did you share with the class there, Phantoms? Let me just browse my pictures quick because that's where I put it. There you go. So we're going to vote on it. So we clearly see my gnome coming in, right? Is it loaded yet? No, it is not. Or we can use Phantom's gnome. Make the gnome say something. What do you mean make the gnome say something? So meet our gnome here. What is the gnome's name? My name is... God, what did gnome sound like? My name is Grapplecheck. Meet Grapplecheck, the gnome. Yeah, that's right. My name is Gnome. I'm the Grapplecheck. I'm the Grapplecheck gnome. All you gotta do is roll a 4. Why don't you roll a 4? Anyways, where's this image? How do I make it visible? Here's Phantom's gnome that he sent us. I really hope you drew this all by yourself. Because goddamn, is it gorgeous. It's also fast. You did that a lot faster than I did. Here, we're just gonna put this little one off to the side, then we can vote on which gnome is better later. Nicely done, Phantoms. Proud of you. One of these gnomes is better than the other, and I know which one it is, and it is not the one I am working on. Just put a speech bubble and let him say something. Oh, that's what you mean. No, this is going to be hidden in the background. I don't want to draw too much attention to it. All right, back to where we were. We were outlining. Giving things depth. Make them feel real. I was in the wrong layer. There we go. There we go. Now the boots have outlines. And the boots need to be underneath. Perfect. And then, what's this? Layer 12 is nothing, so it's gone. Layer 9 is the belt. And the buttons. Let's give them a quick outline. View to miss. And then lastly, the gold. And just like that, we have an outline gnome. All I need to do to win is add the bloody boot. That's true. Like a rusty color, it ain't fresh. True. What was this, the gold layer? Yeah, we can put it in the gold layer. So yeah, what you want to see on it is just a little bit of, we gotta go over here into the red, maybe a little more brown. Brownish red, something around here. Maybe a little darker. And you know it's a little splotchy because, you know, it dried and it cleaned off. There. And you know what? I think I wanted a little more red. It's not bad. It's close. But we need to do a little shifting on it. Let's see. No. No. More saturated? Yeah, there we go. Something around there. There we go. There. The gnome with the bloody boot. I will admit, I think the boots are a little long, so I'm in the wrong layer. We want to go back here. We want to shorten this up a little bit. And, you know, actually, it still works with the, it still works with the buckle. This won't work with the blood anymore after I shorten this up. But that's okay. That's what layers are for. Because now I can just literally grab the blood. Just move it right back. There, look at that. A bloody booted gnome. But now I have this really weird habit of adding depth to my characters or to my drawings because I like shadow effects. And I do shadows in a very simple way. Fun fact, anybody who wants to just learn art, here comes free lesson. Shadows are just dark. Ooh. So all I do for a shadow is I take a base color and I reduce its darkness by like 75 or 20, like so. And then we just go to spots where shadows would appear. So if I'm imagining a light source from up here in the left area, that gnome has one critical hit boot to kill his enemies, and that's his special technique. So if there's a light source coming from the top, well then, hold on. Did I already place one on there? I think I already placed one on there. Nope. Go back. There we go. No, I am seeing that. Did I grab this red already? I want to grab this red. I see there's a spot up there that I missed. There we go. All you have to do is just start coloring in shadow where it belongs. And a fun thing to do, go to Magic Wand, click this. Now we won't draw outside of the shape. So I won't have to worry about hitting the outline at all. But I want a shadow effect to appear on this hat. Specifically around like the brim levels. And then you can just add it in locations where you think it would happen due to curvature. Runs right into his nose. The nose is going to cast a little bit more of a shadow. Because that's just how shadows work. And look at that. The hat has some depth to it. Let's also just add a random shadow up here to imply like the hat is curved a little bit. Yeah, maybe a few more shadowy sections. And then while we're at it, we can take this color and raise its brightness. Actually raise the brightness quite a bit. And then those can be like little highlight sections. Where the light is just a little too strong. Okay, I don't like the highlight sections. Okay, we ignore the highlight sections. I don't know how this turned into just like, oh, look, art class. But that's what it turned into. Going down here. Pick up the white. Darken it by 20. I see. In order to make this work, I'm going to have to take the wrinkle layer, and I'm going to have to merge the wrinkle layer onto the beard. Look at that, lovely. A nice, wonderful shadow being cast. All of this just because of a suggestion to bring up grapple check the gnome. Oh, look at that. Now we've created some lore. Good enough. This is where I think it's actually going to be really important. Wait, why isn't it scrolling? There we go. We're going to have some shadows on the blue. Turn that down to 50. There we go. That's a nice shadow. Little shadow along the button. Shadow on the lower end of the belt, always. I went too far, so redo. There we go. Oh no, I guess it was one stroke. Good enough. There's going to be a little bit more of a shadow here to account for the button. Big shadow here from the arm. A slight shadow here because the arm's the other way. Which means there's actually a shadow along here on the pullback. And a little shadow along here. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Just another shadow. It just makes it pop. You know what I mean? Right, I was supposed to select this so I don't have to worry about going outside the edges. It just brings the character to life when you start adding these like little shadow effects. But I am notorious for going a little hard on shadows. And they're super like hard to notice. But anyways, we're almost done. Only one left, really. The shadows of the boots. Let's pick up the color. Oh, this is going to be a dark one. Lower it down to 8. And then click that, click that. Give me a shadow from the buckle. Inside too. There's actually a lot of shadow because he has his tunic on. And we want to show that the tunic, its shadow will appear. What have you guys thought about the background music? I know I kind of just had it been going and I'm just kind of used to it right now. Also, I never think I got an answer about volume check. I hope it's at a good volume. It's nice for me, and it seems pretty, a nice volume. Music's quite nice. May you ask what it's called? Yes. It is called, hold on, I keep hitting my sound effects button. Moonlight Sonata. I obtained it through Elgato's music store. When you order a stream deck, you have access to their music library, which I can't remember what the library is called, but the song is called Moonlight Sonata. It's got a nice peacefulness to it. And for anyone who's around during the times that they have happened, I actually use a part of this song for my $20 donation because of the drop at the, like, endish here. I just think that drop is such a good effect. All right, then the last thing, we just need the shadows from under the boots. And then there would be a little shadow here from the buckle. And then, would you look at that? Isn't it impressive that just adding those little bit of shadows just brings it so much to life? I don't think I like the shadows on the hat entirely, so I'm going to get rid of those. But just look how much more... Wrong button. I guess we needed that button anyways. I want this. Just a little bit of shadows. And all of a sudden, an art piece just looks so much better. I forgot about this shadow. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that! Also, everybody gaze upon Phantom's wonderful art piece. I kind of forgot that's still on screen. It's a great one, but this is the one that we're going to be using. Meet Grapple Check the Gnome. Maybe it's just me. My eyes are always drawn to the fact that shadows are on a thing, and when the shadows aren't there, no matter what else it looks like, the shadows just add such a cool effect, right? This was one of the greatest tricks. I forget who taught me or if I just figured it out or just tried a few things, but it has escalated my art game to like a whole new level. Is this the same? Why isn't that working? Something feels off. Oh, something was off. All right, let's just touch up the shadow a little bit more here. Right, what am I doing? I can just do the magic select. That way I don't have to worry about going out of line. There's the shadow effect I was looking for. To make this look completed. There we go. You know, I think I want a little bit more. Just going down. There we go. Now I'm going to call that complete. All right, so we're going to do a file save as of this. I am now realizing that I'm going to be careful with that because you guys can see everything. We're going to hide that because no need to see my files. Taking a look around. Was there anything that was spoiled? Not really. Good enough. That was a close one. Save it as a PNG, and we're gonna call him Grapple Check the Gnome. And then the only thing that I don't even care why this happens, but he's gonna get flattened because we're gonna have to merge all the layers together. And there we are. We have Grapple Check the Gnome. Then we're gonna just tighten up his box a little bit, but we don't have to do too much. And then all we have to do is hit save. There we go. All right. Well, there we have it. I should be able to now pause this. This has been Paint and Chill with VTuber Crit. Yes, it has been. Another music. We can hit stop on this. And then we can head back here. And now, does going back here start this sound? It does. That's not good. Hold on. Properties. There. Where is the start? Oh, there isn't. So now if we go here, and then we come back. Now it does not play. Okay, I found the setting. But cool. We had a nice chill music there. And now, no glow. I don't know if I'm disappointed or happy that we are now nearing the end of the stream. We survived a 2-hour just chatting session, but we're not quite done yet. We have to execute on the entire reason we did all of this, right? And that was to add an image. Add a gnome image. Look at Grapple Check. Isn't he adorable? Well, let's get him down to size. I kind of like him right about here. And then obviously, we gotta move him a bit. So where is... Oh no. I'm realizing something. I don't have the chair on its own layer. I can't put the gnome behind the chair to crush my enemies, to see them driven before me. What do you mean? You were extra busy at work today, so you missed most of the stream. That's okay. It was just a nice chill day. We just chatted and we made Grapple Check the gnome. You know what? Grapple Check here is now not going to be hidden behind the chair like we originally wanted. Grapple Check is this wonderful little desk ornament now. There we go. Grapple Check the gnome. We're just going to ignore him. We need more streams like this. We will have more streams like this. Don't worry. Panic option, print screen the chair with the gnome in front of it. Open it and erase the part that is meant to be behind the chair. I have the chair as a separate item. I just caked it in. So I could, let me just double check to see if it's like set up. I could just make another chair and get it there, but I'm just going to leave Grapple Check there. I think it's fun there. Look at cute little Grapple Check. Grapple Check the gnome. I will admit the only thing that I want to do is give him a shadow if at all possible. Because we didn't really draw him a shadow. That's something I can do later. But yeah, this was fun. I'll do too. Yeah, good old Grapple Check. Grapple Check the gnome. Otherwise, there is one thing that I could do, and I think it would be fun. You have to drive home now and so you can get some sleep. Say hi to the Emperor. I definitely will, Red Mage. You rest up, you drive safe. No, crush your enemies and see them driven before me. Crush your enemies and see them driven before you. The classic. Good job, Grapple Check. But don't worry, we will have more streams like this. I didn't know if I'd be able to survive just 2 hours of yapping. I appreciate everybody here to help with the conversation, driving things around, just having a grand old time without a video game behind it. Yes, we kind of turned into, we did do something. I ended up drawing and painting, and maybe that wasn't up to everybody's speed, and that's okay. For those who did stick around, I hope you enjoyed it. Just the yapping and the chatting and the blah, 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 and the funs. But we did draw a grapple check in the meantime. I do like the idea of still getting grapple check behind the chair. I can deal with that at a later time. And it would be difficult to like just erase part of grapple check to match the chair. But I do think hiding the gnome behind the chair is better than little gnome on the desk. Little gnome on the desk is working for now, but it does look a little out of place. I at least need to give him a contact shadow. You know what? I can't deal with it. I'm going to give him a contact shadow. Like right now. Hold on. We're going to come back here. Good to know that this was still here. It lacks the veiled malice of gnome that will kick you until you stop moving. It does. But I need a contact shadow. And very simply, we can do that by just going to a second layer that we'll put underneath, and we will just draw a contact shadow, which is very simple. Actually, I want to do the layer above. We'll just draw it. Actually, I could just draw a shape, can't I? Rectangle? No. I want a oval. I want it to be a fill. Look, contact shadow. It needs to be much skinnier somehow in order to still hit there, but still go over here. Then go up a little bit, I guess. Sure, we're going to go with that. Except it's going to look like this, actually. Look at that, an actual real contact shadow. And then we're going to lower the opacity. Oh, that didn't work. We are going to lower the opacity. There. Let's go 200. A nice even 200. Contact shadow. And then we save it. It's going to ask me questions, so that means I need to hide the screen again. Hide screen. Actually, I can hide screen by just going over here. Because when I save it, Mr. Gnome over here should update. And there, now he has a contact shadow. I will get him behind the chair, I promise. But that'll be at another time. Well, all right, everybody. We've lasted 2 hours of just yapping. First thing you see on stream is you getting gnomed. Indeed. Meet Grapple Check, the gnome. Also, Jonah, good night. Welcome on in. Perfect timing. We're about to leave. But this was fun. This was a nice change of pace. Obviously, I've never really done just chatting streams, but it's enjoyable. I definitely understand why there are some streamers out there that don't actually game and all they do is tell stories and yap. This is fun. But I like grapple check the gnome. And of course, as every artist will tell you, look at all of that work that we put into the shadows, and I doubt you can even see them on him. And that's okay. You missed it? Yeah, unfortunately. The good news is there'll be a VOD of it. So you can always see what you missed, but it was just us telling stories and having fun, cracking jokes. But all right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. This was a fun experiment. I will definitely do them in the future. And even in future ones, I will do things along the lines of, like, just do anything. We're going to run into that on Sunday, as a matter of fact. I think if we check the schedule says we'll be playing Expedition 33 on Saturday. That's a guarantee. But Sunday's up in the air. I don't know if I want to play Expedition 33. I don't know if I want to play Silk Song. I don't know if I just want to chill out and relax. I don't know if I want to sing. There's a lot I want to do on Sunday. So it's kind of up in the air for now. But right now, I think it's going to be between Silk Song and Expedition 33 with a lingering feeling that I think it's going to be Expedition 33. I have a theory that so many people are playing Silk Song right now that nobody wants to watch Silk Song. So I might give it another week. Let people earn some progress, if you will. And then we can play more Silk Song. I want to play Silk Song, though. But I also want to really play Expedition 33. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. I hope you had fun. Till next we meet, from good-eye to goodbye. Have a good one, everyone. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.